Okay, this should be the last video for the day. I noticed from personal experience, the older you get, the harder it is to transition. And what sucks about that is the older you get, the more you loathe the younger trans community. If my friend Mason sees this, it's probably going to upset him a little bit. He hasn't been posting. He stopped a while back because he got some of the information he needed. Medi-Cal, because I live here in California, Medi-Cal covers most, if not all, costs for transgender gender reassignment. They'll pay for the top surgery. They'll pay for the bottom surgery. I believe I know they pay for the blood tests, because they'll pay for any blood test that you need. You know, the doctor doesn't have to say, this is a blood test for, hormone levels. All they just say is, we took some blood, we need to do a blood test. Medi-Cal covers that. I think they also if they don't cover hormone treatment, I know the hormones are cheap for most people. In fact, my friend Mason is going to be using a testosterone cream that's about $50. You can get it pretty much any pharmacy to get it for you if you have the prescription already written up, which I know Planned Parenthood will do for you if needed. And I'd seen some of this from experience before I'd met anybody younger than me that was trans, that a lot of FTMs that are older feel like I think I'm invincible and I can just jump the gun and I can, just do all this and not even worry about my health and yada yada yada. First of all, let me state, 1, I know what I'm doing can be potentially dangerous. 2, I do not expect everything to be on a silver platter. Oh, you want to get rid of your boobs? Here's the free money for it. No, I expect to have to work damn hard for it, because of the fact that I see trans men who have been working almost their entire adult lives to get to the point they're at now, and some of them have just gotten their top surgery. I know people in their 40s or 50s that have just gotten their top surgery, and they've been trying since they were my age. I know this is not going to be an easy route. I do not expect everything to be handed to me because I'm young and supposedly think I'm invincible. No, if somebody comes at me and shoots me in the head with a gun, I'm going to die, and I know it. I do not think I'm a know-it-all. I know I sound like a know-it-all sometimes. I do not think I know everything. I do not think I'm better than anyone else. Let me rephrase that. I don't think I'm better than most people. I do not think that this is going to be easy. And that is where me saying that this may upset Mason if he sees this comes in. He posted about, money for hormones, figuring out the hormone costs and everything, figuring out also with the breast removal surgery, and when we didn't have information for him specifically, he said, oh, well, guess I don't get testosterone then. Woe is me. When I tried to help him with some of the information on the surgeries, he expected it to all be there in big, bold letters. We do transgendered surgeries and we accept Medi-Cal. He didn't want to, at least from what I could see, didn't want to call up and talk to the people. He wanted it all to just be there for him to just easily see and do. It's not that easy. I know that for a fact. And it's one of those, I know he's young. I know he wants to get this over with, because this is not an easy route. He lives with another FTM. Dude's name's Mario. He's really freaking cool. We went to, my ex-Kato and I went to spend Christmas up with Mario, and him and his family are just so wonderful. But I think Mario probably, got it through Mason's head, this isn't going to be easy, because last few times I've talked to Mason, it's been completely cool. He's been talking about, doing the proper research fully. I think he was just going through a depression phase at the point where he, was expecting it all right then. Or some sort of, probably his dysphoria was worse for a couple days or something. But now he's got it in line. He's going through all the right channels. He's making the calls. He's got his blood test already taken care of. He's going to be starting T probably in a week or two. And, I'm proud of him. He's, realizing more and more and more, yeah, this is not easy, but it's doable. It's not going to be the end of the world for me if I don't transition right now, because I know it's going to be a hard route. I know it's going to take a long time, a lot of time and dedication. I'm going to make friends. I'm going to lose friends. I'm probably going to lose a lot of family members.
And you know what? It's unfortunately what happens. And I wish the light would stop freaking out on my camera. Sorry about that. I'm not having a, light switch rave or anything. It's just being stupid. Don't you dare. Casey just gave me that look of don't give me ideas. But I noticed when I was at a barbecue, because there's a group of the guys that wants to do a camp out. I felt extremely unwelcome by a few of the guys. At one of the points, one of these guys had told me that he was afraid that I was rushing into everything and that I scared him for thinking that everything was going to be dropped on my lap, which really hurt me. And this was in my home, that he told me that he thinks I'm rushing everything, when I never once said that I wanted everything to happen right then and there. And I don't feel welcome as a member of... I don't feel welcome transitioning around him, because it's... The older you get, the less often you accept younger transgendered people, or younger people in general. You disregard what they say as, oh, they're just young, they don't know better. I don't feel welcome by the majority of the trans community, because they look at me and they either hate me because it's so much easier for me, not literally hate, but a dislike for me, because for them they seem to think it's much easier for me to transition, or they dislike me because they think I'm a know-it-all, or whatever reason. And it really upsets me, because it is not easier at my age. I am 22. You know what happens if I go into a place to look for a job and they look at me? They're either, they're gonna, consider me a guy, and there's gonna be two options. Either consider me a guy, and they'll go through the thing, and they'll, go to, take my application. They meet a man, or who they think they're a man. They look at my, application, and they see a female's name. What's that going to say about me? They're either going to immediately figure it out, or they're going to think, I'm just a tomboy, or they're going to think I'm a lesbian, or whatever. And I don't have a lot of job options at the age of 22, especially since I haven't been able to go to college. Which means I have food services, retail, babysitting, things like that. It is extremely hard to get the most basic of jobs when you are different. Most retail stores will not hire me because they're afraid of what the customers might think. Because most places demand that you use your full first name on your little identification badge. I don't want my identification badge to say my real name. And so it's really hard to pass at my age. The only way I'm going to be able to have an easier time at this is to either bite the bullet, or get the money to get my name changed, at least get the money for the therapy, get the letter to be able to change that F to an M on my birth certificate, my social security account, or whatever the actual term for the file in their database is, and my driver's license. That's the only way this is going to be easier for me, because right now the world is still as judgmental as it was 10 years, 20 years ago. It's still, this person's different, and since I don't know what they are, I don't like it. And it's one of those things that it's not easier the younger you are, it's harder the younger you are. When you get to be in your 40s or 50s, most people have the skills for better jobs. Most of the guys that I know, most of the trans men, I know a couple of them that work at hospitals. I know a few people who work, in treatment facilities and places. They're not gonna hire me there at the age of 22. Most of those places demand that you be at least 25 to work there. And that's what makes it so damn hard, is the fact that the only jobs I qualify for involve you looking either being a girl and looking girly, or being a guy and being the manliest thing on 2 fucking feet with a fucking 12-inch dick. They don't care about your attitude. They don't care about your personality. They don't care about your previous work experience unless, you know, a girl named Kathleen has triple D tits and long blonde hair and goes, oh, hi, welcome to Taco Bell. How may I help you? No, you can't have me being a nice person, being great with people, even though I hate people, being willing to help anyone despite how I look. They will look at me and go, we don't want that, because we know 100% that no customer would want that in our store. The only way I'm going to get a job is to bite the bullet and be Kathleen, and I refuse to do that. I absolutely 100% refuse to pretend to be something I'm not. I will find another method. There will be jobs that will hire me despite this, but it is not easy. It is far harder to get into retail as a member of the transgender community than it is to get into a hospital job as a trans man or trans woman, as working at a treatment facility as a trans man or trans woman. It is far harder at my age. And I absolutely hate when older people assume that it is so much easier for us, because it's not. This is one of those situations where they expect respect and equality and for people to understand them, yet they refuse to understand us. You cannot expect to be treated fairly if you don't treat other people fairly. I really want to go to this picnic, this camping trip. Most of them look at me as a child, and they don't want to be around a child. Because they think I'm a know-it-all. Because they think I expect everything to drop into my lap. Because they think these various things about me. I don't feel welcome. I want to go. I want to be with the rest of the guys. But most of them don't like me. Because of my age. Because of how hyper they claim I can get. The fact that I am energetic, enigmatic, you know, extroverted. They don't like it. I'm accused of talking too much, that guys don't talk that much. I know tons of guys, straight men who have no intention of ever considering themselves women, that talk more than I do. So fuck you and your goddamn male stereotypes. And I'm going to leave it at 13 minutes or 14 or whatever the fuck. It's 13 now, but whatever, with a closing statement of, if you are male, female, FTM, MTF, I don't care what the fuck your mental state is. Do not decide because I am younger than you that I am any less capable of this. As my voice cracks, yay. It is not easier for me. In fact, it is harder. When you are first 18, it is not easy to become the other gender. In fact, it is really fucking hard. My mom, for the first time in this entire time, most of the time she does try and correct herself, but I heard her when she was talking about, her and I were talking, and she was doing a, you know, hypothetical scenario. I think she was mentioning what she had been talking to her boyfriend about. She said, when she was talking about me, she said that she had said he while talking to her boyfriend about her oldest child. That took 4 years. My mom's not unsupportive. It is just hard for her to adapt. All of these 40, 50, whatever trans men, even the mid to late 30s, even the early 30s, that say, oh, it was so hard, my parents didn't accept me, blah, blah, blah. It took them years. I'm still in that stage. It's not easier for me. In fact, it is just as hard as it was for you when you were my age. So get the fuck over the idea that it's easier for me, because it's really not. I'm going to leave it at this now, because if I keep going, I'm actually going to get upset, not just adamant. Because I'm not upset. I'm just being blatant. And I really hope that anybody that sees this, that I didn't offend anyone, and looks like I sprayed